Dallas. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, so we got 2 new special guests in the building. We got my man Neptune, aka A Vegan's Paradise on Instagram. Welcome to the Tree Talk session, brother.
Appreciate it.
And we got my man Kush, right?
Yes, sir.
That Instagram. Shout out to Instagram one more time.
Master Kush.
Wave Master Kush. Wave Master Kush.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. So I'm definitely familiar with Neptune. I follow him on Facebook, actually. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the posts that he put up there, and it's the knowledge and the good downloads that he was putting and spreading out to people, the value he was giving to people. Man, it was really like putting a lot of perspective on veganism, consciousness, the universe, things of that nature. Things that our people definitely need, you know what I'm saying? So definitely had to bring him on to the Tree Talk session so that he can continue to, you know, uplift people and spread that positivity and mindfulness and awareness, you know what I'm saying? So today we got some Kush in hand right now. We also got some smokable herbs. You know, a lot of people don't really smoke weed and all that thing. So we got some lavender. What's in there?
It's some lavender, some rose, mullein, and chamomile.
Bad. Many people didn't know you can smoke herbs, you know what I'm saying? Any type of herb, honestly, you know what I'm saying? And produce to get many benefits from it.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So Neptune, let's start with you, man. Like, tell the people what you about, you know what I'm saying, where you from, things of that nature.
So I'm from the DMV, from Maryland. I'm a avid health nut, a mystic, a spiritual seeker, a student, a teacher. My main trade is massage therapy, as well as helping people transition into veganism and raw veganism as well. So like even right now we're conducting a 10-day raw detox, which I'm glad because the family is
they're doing it, the summer solstice.
The summer solstice. So I'm just glad to be able to facilitate that and show people that, you know, we are natural beings, you know, and how to dive deeper into tapping those spiritual levels that exist within us, you know. But yeah, so I do raw vegan chefing, massage therapy, also got the herbs on me, smokable herbs.
Oh yeah.
The medicinal herbs. Mm-hmm. I don't got a tree, but I got the other good stuff too. But yeah, that's what I'm about, consciousness, just deep exploration of consciousness, tapping human potential, and awakening that DNA. That's what it's about.
That's what's up, definitely, man. And I definitely see you on the social media, you know what I'm saying, spreading that positivity and connecting with other people, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, you definitely booming on that Facebook, you know what I'm saying. I see you, man, definitely, you know what I'm saying. And when you say you're a health nut, I definitely see it, you know what I'm saying. And I'm definitely inspired by that, you know. So yeah, definitely, man. My man Kush on the right of me, you know what I'm saying. Let the people know, man, what you about, man, things of that nature, so we can get this session going.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's officially, man, the Petamat Kushim Sun Ray, Wave Master. Wave Master is like a title, you know what I'm saying. And that's just going in to my base theme. My base theme is a unified field theorem. It's called Afro-modalism, and that is using our modalities to transmute our emotions and master our emotions and to self-actualization, and then from there we can unlock our DNA, just like my man Supreme was saying and Neptune was saying. And you know, simply as a fact, this is a simple example. I don't want to get too deep into it until we get into it, but just like all of our, you know, this is divine energy that we're all coming across. You may call it prana, you may call it chi, you may call it life force, energy, divine spirit. Our modalities, our senses are specifically designed to intake these frequencies and send it to our brain for interpretation. You know what I'm saying? So just like the color red, you know what I mean? The red is a visual color, but it has a sound on a musical note, and that goes up an octave. It has a smell, it has a taste, it has, you know, across all the different modalities. So, you know, and there's certain emotional triggers that come from the modalities, just like, you know, certain musical notes make you feel a certain way, certain colors make you feel a certain way. If we can understand that, then we can transmute our emotions. Where we know that we're feeling red, we can transmute it to another color. You know what I mean? And ultimately cultivate our own sense of peace. And our peace is how we unlock our melanin. You know what I'm saying? Peace and love equals harmony. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we, unlock it. You know, I'm all into health and fitness. I'm an international athlete. I play a sport you probably never heard of before. It's called kabaddi. It's a mix between tag, wrestling, Red Rover, rugby. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Martial arts.
Oh yeah, I gotta check that out, man.
Most definitely, man. I'm actually the captain of the United States national team for the sport. When we go into the World Cup in Dubai in October,
What's up?
and we actually going to the Olympics next year in Tokyo. So just that's what I bring to the table. But I'm also a music producer. I do everything music wise, and I just Afro-modalism is the basis, and I just plug everything else through Afro-modalism and keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, that's powerful right there, man. We got two powerful beings joining the session right now, man. That's definitely what's up. And I do want to, bank off what you were saying about the colors, man, because that's definitely very profound, and how colors is all connected like that, even with our emotional states, our spiritual states, even our physical beings, you know what I'm saying? You look at all these fast food restaurants, they possess a specific color.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's mostly red. You got the KFC, you got the Wendy's, you got all the Chick-fil-A, you know what I'm saying? So they're striking, we look at the chakras, the base, the root, you know what I'm saying, dealing with survival and things of that nature. So it's definitely some psychological, experiments going on with people,
most
things of
definitely.
that nature, you know what I'm saying? So that was definitely some profound things you were saying about that.
I'll give y'all the link, man. I got a 64-page document that kind of goes into detail about, what exactly Afro-modalism is.
That's the name of it, Afro-modalism?
Yeah, I kind of coined that term, trademark coming soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can get everybody's emails. If anybody, just shoot y'all email. I don't know how exactly you, onboard people, you know what I'm saying? But
I definitely put the videos together, post them up there, you know what I'm saying? And then, I could definitely give people information
Most
to
definitely.
get that book out.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Definitely spread that awareness. Afro-modalism, that's interesting. Definitely interesting. So, yeah, man. So, definitely the topic of discussion that I wanted to get into was definitely, health, veganism, and its relationship to society and how we can better ourselves, through that state of living. You know what I'm saying? Because we look at today, we do, especially our community of people, it's very prevalent to have, many diseases, you know what I'm saying, whether it be heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, definitely cancer. Cancer is trending today, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, it's popular, like, if you ain't got cancer, you ain't living, it's something like
Right.
that, you know what I'm saying? So, how can changing the foods that we eat, on a simple level for the people so that they can get a basic understanding, then we can dive deeper into it, you know what I'm saying? How can changing the foods that you eat really, shape your reality, Whoever want to tackle that first, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so the foods that we eat, I think it's important to realize that, our culture, we've created our artificial construct of society. We created an artificial construct of what time is. And basically we start to participate in those artificial constructs, and by resonance, we become artificial beings. We eat artificial food, so we have artificial thinking, artificial mind, you know what I'm saying? So the food is powerful, especially when it's in its raw state. Like fruit is nothing higher in terms of food that has as much solar radiation as fruit. But the food has the codes that teach our DNA what time it is galactically. So it can change us, because when you eat foods from the earth that's not even processed or denatured, they basically attune your vibrational rate to that of Mother Earth. And she's going through an initiation of sorts as well too. So just like how we, by stages of development through love and wisdom, we go higher and higher up the scale in our spiritual evolution, we become the recipient of finer essences. The earth is doing the same thing too. So she's going into her initiation as well. And what that means for us is that basically the higher the world, the more the tension. So that means you're going to have more struggles and obstacles to overcome. You know what I'm saying? More things that no longer serve the 5D paradigm are going to come out. It's going to be purged. You know what I'm saying? So that's why so many people have things like cancer and lung disease and all of this, because these are deeply metaphysical at their root. Before cancer can even come down and express itself, it starts in the
unseen,
in the mental planes,
Yeah.
and then it precipitates and goes down a little bit into the astral planes, and then it comes a physical reality. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that definitely makes a lot of sense that you said that, because when you think about seeds, like fruit for instance, the seeds it's like an infinite process. You could plant one seed, and then through planting that one seed, you can get watermelons. You can get about 5, 6, 10 watermelons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those watermelons possess a multitude of seeds, and that process is ongoing. You know what I'm saying? It's just I got this book. It's called The Wasp. And it
What's it called?
The Wasp.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a definitely interesting book, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my dad had it from when he read the whole book, you know, shout out to my father, you know what I'm saying? He definitely read the whole book, you know what I'm saying? I got it orally, you know, so in that book, you know, was talking about
right.
Man, it was definitely some profound things. And in that book, it was speaking on the food, you know, how the food system, the only thing we really should be eating is, you know, the fruits and the veggies, you know what I'm saying? Not any animals, you know, because to kill, to take away from to take away from life itself, you know what I'm saying? That's not a mankind power, you know what I'm saying? That's a creator, that's the creator's power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Rita was talking about the fruits and how the fruits actually possess the same vortex that the universe is traveling in, you know what I'm saying? It was so profound, like, yo, like, so that the earth is actually traveling, you know, through the solar system, you know, at a set speed, at a set rate, in its most perfect, its most exhausted state. And these fruits and veggies can, you know, assert themselves into you just like that, you know what I'm saying, if you actually intaking it. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely key on,
That's
head
powerful.
on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you mentioned that about the food and how it definitely aligns us with Mother Nature, Mother Earth.
Exactly.
Definitely, man. So
And I just want to say about the fruits, they have the most solar radiation. I think that's a point to even kind of expound on a little bit, because even within quote veganism, you know, you still have like fruitarianism. I know him, and he was talking about Eris Lathan, that he was you know, was a student of, and he was a fruit, you know what I mean, just fruitarian, because that's, like you said, it's getting the most energy from the sun. Things that grow out of the ground. Once you start getting into dead things, you know what I'm saying, they don't have
no vibration.
They don't have the vibration of the sun. And like he was saying, the sun is going through its journey, the earth is going through her journey, you know what I mean, and we are, you know what I mean, microcosm of that macrocosm, that level of the macrocosm. So we too go through our journey, and the more that we can align ourselves, because there is a polar shift happening, you know what I'm saying, there's an energetic shift of the earth's, you know what I mean, energies field. There's an energy field that all of the ocean currents, wind currents, tectonic plates, you know what I mean, the earth has chakras just like we do, you know what I mean, and they're all evolving. It's, like you said, the earth's going through its journey, but the sun has its own level, you know what I mean, of journey. So, and that's where the earth is getting her energy from. So we can like go straight to the plug, you know what I'm saying, go straight to the plug. Let's go straight to the sun, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to getting these minerals. It's a whole nother science about minerals, because that's really what it all busts down to. It's making sure your body has enough minerals to operate as a functioning body, like for real. And that's where all of these sickness and diseases are coming from, because people are minerals.
Exactly.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But there's stuff out here like sea moss that has damn near 90, 93 or 95%, you know what I mean, of all those. Purple sea moss. And it's really, you know, to getting these minerals in the purest form, you know what I mean, other than like crystals, you know what I'm saying, is getting that high vibrational food, you know what I'm saying, so.
Definitely. Wow. That's incredible. Like, when you were saying that, it really just made me think about, you know, I don't know if this is off topic or off the side, but it's all related. Breatharianism. Like, to possibly breathe, you know what I'm saying? Because the Creator gave us the breath of life.
Yes.
So it's not the food of life.
Right.
It's the breath.
Right.
You know, and that breath is always with you, it's forever present. So it's just like, if we use that, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely some leveling up, you know what I'm saying, discipline, form, a way of living. But it's just like, that sustains you.
Right.
Man.
In a nutshell, because it controls your reality in your head. It controls the reality that you possess.
Our wings are our lungs are our wings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a direct
They look like wings.
for a reason though.
They look like wings.
Because they are. You know what I mean? There's a direct correlation between, you know what I mean, states, you know what I mean, states of breathing and states of consciousness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can make yourself go into a what we call meditative states, or a trance-like state, or you know what I mean, you get your REMs where you breathe in the deepest during your sleep. You know what I'm saying? And we can. That's how we travel to other worlds. That's how we make ourselves. We can go with the flow, so to speak, of, you know what I mean, lucid dreaming, or going even death is you know what I mean, a long sleep. You know what I'm saying? Even when you in a, you know what I mean, because you make yourself go into trance at least once a day by going to sleep. You know what I mean? And you only learn through trance. You know what I mean? That's the only way that you learn and retain information. So the more we can, you know what I mean, go through that, and we can control that, you know, or keep in tune with that, you know what I mean, that breath, it's a campaign that and we talking breathe water.
Breathe water.
If you making sure that you breathing right and you drinking water,
Yeah.
most of your problems will go away, if not all. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the two most simple
Dude,
things.
Dick Gregory said that. Dick Gregory was like, I'm paraphrasing, you know what I'm saying? I ain't what he's saying, but he was like, you drinking water, you would never stumble. You would not trip over. You will flow like water. You won't stumble over no rock. You won't stub your toe.
Mm-hmm.
You will flow like it's just like, yeah, that's definitely on point. You know what I'm saying?
That's that breath. That's the key to our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Because we definitely have meditation sessions, and what we realize is that like how deeply you breathe and how many cycles per minute, it dictates what brainwave state you're on. So you know how they have the beta, alpha,
Gamma.
yeah,
Theta,
gamma,
Delta.
yeah, beta, alpha, theta, delta, and then gamma.
Yeah.
The beta is like when we like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm
Fight or
driving,
flight.
I'm alert.
Fully conscious.
Alpha is like right now, we just cooling it. Our mind is like a slow river, just moving. You know what I'm saying? But the meditation and manipulating your breath, it gets you into that theta wave state consciousness, and that's associated with spiritual awareness, spiritual perception, and creativity and meditation. So you perform miracles when you're in a theta wave state. That's what they call in athleticism the flow state.
In the zone.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if you can turn that on consciously,
Mm-hmm.
you working with a powerful elixir. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
the breath is so amazing. And you know what I was reading the other day, this book by this lady named Sandra Ray. It's called Celebration of Breath. And Sandra Ray and another guy named Leonard Orr created something called rebirthing, where basically they used a specific type of breathing technique to unravel birth trauma. So this is deep because it actually deals with prenatal and perinatal psychology.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, the reasoning follows like this. When you were in your mother's womb, you know, obviously her thoughts and what she said and what the father said and what the father's thoughts were, they all affected you.
Exactly.
But also how you responded to everything, because you were still sensitive to certain stimuli, all stimuli really, you know what I'm saying? So she basically goes on to say things like, if you feel anxious when people rush you or stuff like that, like that's an example of when a woman might have had a C-section, you know what I'm saying? And so your attitude towards what life was something to struggle against or something to hide from, or you didn't feel comfortable in your body. So that's why a lot of times people fall into a dream state throughout the day, because they're not projecting and aligning with real time, like what's actually happening in the moment. They look at a situation and they judge it, you know what I'm saying? And that judgment comes from it comes from the past, when you had to look at something in a certain light, you know what I'm saying? So, but what was important about that was that she was saying that you adopted a certain type of respiration rhythm while those traumas was occurring, and that's your go-to breath when traumas occur now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we walk around and we argue with people sometimes and stuff like that, and the person that's arguing, we are responding from our 2-month-old self or our 7-year-old self.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So entire fields of awareness and your emotional maturity can be groomed and cultivated simply by breathing correctly. You know what I'm saying? So it's such a powerful modality. And you should see some of these people that actually, like, they have rebirthing sessions for like 2 hours, bro. They like on the ground. Basically, you breathe circularly. So you're doing that for 2 hours straight. And what that does is, because it's so purging, it brings up all emotions that like basically held you back and trauma that you stored away in your cells. Because the issue is always in the tissue. So you're just allowing it to air out, you know what I'm saying? I've seen some videos, there's people going like, just like jerking around and shit. Some people was crying, other people was just like hysterical laughing. And I'm like, bro, it really shows you that the breath is like our original sacred medicine. You know what I'm saying? So it's incredibly powerful. Matter of fact, there's not one immortal that's walking this earth that does not practice correct and right breathing. You know what I'm saying?
Rigorous.
Yeah, I was literally just watching YouTube. This dude, I forgot his name. He was this is a Caucasian dude. He was in Cali or something like that. He was doing breathing techniques that allowed you to secrete DMT. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You seen it? Did you?
Well, no, I was saying that's like
Exactly what
those
you were
breathing
saying.
rates.
Yeah.
So like specifically, if you breathe like even like 4 breaths to 6 breaths a minute, you're gonna start secreting DMT. All the endogenous entheogens we got inside of us, bro, they pinealine, then it's gonna get transcribed into DMT, then it's gonna get transcribed into DMT MEO5, and then you there, bro.
So it seems like something that's like been so forever present with humanity since beginning, like if it even was a beginning, like
right.
It's just like
Right.
the evolution of the human mind, and like where we can be. It's just like incredible. Like it's like this thing. It's just highly incredible. Where you know where nature. We level up. You know what I'm saying? Because like a land is termed holy if the people are holy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like if the people are like leveled up, the land itself will level up like as well. So it's just like really like if you have a thought, like the universe is constantly expanding. And you have a thought, just say how far that thought really goes, you know what I'm saying? Like the opportunities are endless, you know, man.
When I said about the polar shift earlier, like we are the people, we are the ones who are bringing about the shift. You know what I mean? Like of course the earth is going, but it needs us to do our part. You know what I'm saying? Actually manifest these things. You know what I'm saying? In whatever fashion or whatever plane. So really, the breathing and drinking water, those are like the most basic. And this is even tying to veganism and everything, going back into it. That's like your most basic, you know what I'm saying, root chakra operate. If you doing both of those things, you gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you eat things that also have the same, because you're breathing in the same thing that you're getting from you getting from these fruits and veggies.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're unlocking that, but then you, like you said, but then you getting it externally, so you get that, you know what I'm saying, that ebb and flow, getting it external and internal secreting, and now you have, that's the creation, you know what I'm saying, because now you're getting all your minerals, and now you have unlocked your body, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say we have 2 strands of DNA, we really got 12. It's you know what I mean? It's in the document, you know what I'm saying? But we really got 12.
They've already like even started to find something. Like it's called they've started to find even 2-strand and 3-strand DNA. It's called G quadruplex. Like if you look it up, and it's on the end of telomeres.
Wow.
You familiar with the telomeres?
I've read that in a meditation book. Like when you meditate, you actually lengthen your telomeres. Like it reduces aging. Like versus the aging process.
And we got about 7 proteins in our DNA. They call them the SIRT1 gene collectively, but they're called sirtuins. And these genes, like, they're specifically for immortality. Well, let me say longevity, my bad, because people was like, "Oh,
crazy!" Like, I don't mean to cut you. I literally thought about that immortal jellyfish. You ever heard about that immortal jellyfish?
Yes, bro. Yes,
that's crazy.
yes.
That's incredible.
It's ridiculous.
Like, go ahead though. My fault.
So, like, I was gonna say, as far as the proteins, the SIRT gene.
Yeah.
So the foods that act on the SIRT gene, which deals with longevity, are purple pigmented foods. So that's why stuff like grape juice or resveratrol and your berries, like people always talking about, oh, they're so high in antioxidants and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, like the highest visible wave band, purple, is the thing that activates your DNA to get you into a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
Black of the berry.
The black of the berry.
Yeah,
man. It's real. So so the diet is everything in terms of unlocking our people. I try to stay away from like personally like kind of being like dogmatic. You need to eat this, you need to eat that. But it definitely should be known that like if you are trying to ascend to a certain type of level spiritually, you can't do it without the food. You know what I'm saying? Because the food is the food gives you the light codes. It turns on your DNA. You know what I'm saying? So it's just real, you know, and it's a vehicle for prana, just like the breath. You know what I'm saying? The prana that's found in fruits is only second to the prana that's found in the air. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and all of it's charged. All of it's teaching your DNA which way to go. So
yeah. Definitely, that's most definitely true, man. It's just like food definitely plays a key factor. Like that book I mentioned, the Waspe, the guy that wrote it pretty much, he had to go vegan. He had to stop eating meat for him, because what the saying is in that book is saying that angels like told him like pretty much you had to like clean your body.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah,
bro.
like you had to clean your body. You know what I'm saying? What happened was he did automatic writing. Like he didn't even like know what he was writing. He just did it so fast.
True.
Yeah, so it was just like diet plays a key factor in the heights that a human can reach.
Bro,
Like that's definitely key.
it's crazy. That's crazy. That even that you said that the angels, cause like the food, like nature produces the food, but like even on the other side of that, like angels or devils or whatever, like in all cultures, there's been recognition of invisible beings. You know what I'm saying? Or spiritual intelligences that you can't see.
Yeah.
So the food is being made by devas, and devas basically are angels, but they have an hierarchy.
Yeah.
The ones that make the fruit in the trees specifically for man are of a high order. So our evolution is almost parallel to certain angels once we start tapping into those higher levels of food. If you eat meat, it'll tune you into a certain level of the astral plane.
Yeah.
If you eat fruit, it'll tune you into a certain level of the mental plane. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was talking, physical level, the etheric, the astral, which is the emotional, and then the mental. So you already are skipping certain levels. That's why if you eat a big ass meal at nighttime and it was some meat, bro, you gonna be dealing with some monsters. You gonna be running from your dream. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? You gonna be dodging some shit because that's the level that you keyed yourself in at. You know what I'm saying? If you ate some fruit, bro, you gonna be in a tree flying, you gonna be doing some type of light bearing work because that's the nature. It's a title. You know what I'm saying? You become Melchizedek. You know what I'm saying? A type of. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's wild, man. Like, and I can just, my experience, like, it's so true. Like what you're saying, like when I was eating meat, having dreams when I was running for something. That's a fact. Like a terrifying dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You change your diet, you having dreams. I'm flying, bro. Like it's like, yo, like what in the world? Like it's amazing. You know. That's crazy, man.
Hell yeah.
Because once you do that, the whole thing about it's a whole thing about melanin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And melanin.
Dark energy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think we are yet to fully actualize what this actually can do for us, like for real. When it comes to, because it's all electromagnetism, or that's what they coined it now. It used to be what they call ether or prana, you know what I'm saying? But it's all about that. Like you said, that dark energy. And by doing these things, getting these minerals, we unlock our melanin, and we're able to do what are, super, whatever it is. You're right. Because like you said, we tapping into the vortex math, you know what I'm saying? We tapped into the universal code, like you're saying, and we can pretty much manifest whatever we want, you know what I'm saying, as we unlock more and more strands of our DNA. But this is more than a physical thing, you know what I'm saying? This is just what happened to manifest at a certain frequency. You know what I'm saying? We were coded to manifest it, but this helps us on every plane, just like we see it on the physical, we have on the mental and the spiritual and all the other planes in between. You know what I mean? This is designed to help us. You know what I mean? This is designed that we are innately better, highly, tuned to intake use our modalities, you know what I'm saying? And that's what even got me into, Afro-modalism, because, we on the herbs real hard too, as you can see, smoking them, but, you know what I'm saying, I went to Jamaica, you know what I'm saying, back in summer 2017, and 2018, I kind of ran into this unassuming, you know what I'm saying, 69-year-old construction worker, 9-month-old son having Rastaman, you know what I'm saying, who say he had I call it everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Wow. It's two versions. It's the bitters, which cleans your system out, cleans your blood, you know what I'm saying, just rejuvenate, just washes everything out. You know what I mean? Just think of it like it's a natural, the nicest version of exfoliation, inner exfoliation, as you can, imagine. Just get all of anything that's bad. I don't mean to be too general, but it's literally like cancer, AIDS, diabetes, like anything that Alzheimer's, anything that you can name, you know what I'm saying, that's bad. You know what I'm saying? And he told me he showed me like he showed me the certain herbs that he uses, you know what I'm saying, in order to do it. But they native to Jamaica.
Yeah.
And at that point I knew. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, like it's the energy, you know what I mean, and as we attune our body, these are just vessels for our God bodies to come down and have fun.
Yeah. Yep.
And experience life in the purpose that we manifested it up at that realm.
Yeah.
And before we was even born, all right, I'm gonna do this. All right, I'm gonna pick this suit. This is my suit right here. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm gonna use. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is what I'm gonna use in order to manifest what I want to manifest in this lifetime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? According to these laws and what I want to teach myself. And all right, I'm gonna make myself do this. But we got the ultimate. You know what I'm saying? We can tap into the ultimate mind of the universe. And we can tap into the universe. We are the divine spirit, representation of divine spirit. We can tap into the universal mind and the God body. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the Trinity right there. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we can come. Our whole job on this earth is to like let our divine spirit have fun. And do what manifests. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, man. We got lost in our creations. You know what I'm saying? We're creators, like co-creators, I would say like that, you know what I'm saying? So
that's real, bro. He said we got lost in our creations.
Yeah, like
bro.
We're making up stuff in our mind, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there was no language, nothing to adhere to. We will observe the sounds of nature and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, to produce meaning, you know what I'm saying, in our heads, to form a language. We had the sounds that we heard had to be sounds we heard from nature. Exactly. So we put meaning to it, you know. So at the end of the day, it's just like we're making up something. And we're getting lost in it. You know? Yeah, exactly. So it's just like the keys to come back in tune. The keys to come back in tune with like just life and life itself, in tune with the unseen. You know what I'm saying? And like it's simple. I feel like it's simple. Just love everybody with love and respect. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself. That means you gonna love yourself with love and respect. At the end of the day, you gonna put the right things in your body. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a natural flow of line. That's gonna be the base foundation of your thinking, and just from there you grow from there. Your imagination stems from there. Like it's a whole different reference point.
Exactly. Right.
It's a completely different reference point, you know what I'm saying? And you branch out from there, you know what I'm saying? Like this society definitely got us like just boxed in, definitely. You know what I'm saying? We're creating that box, we're creating that particle. It's just like this is what like the observers I actually like, you know, founded upon too. Like you've ever heard of the double slit theory, testing the nature of the atom. Atoms can behave like waves or particles, things of that nature. So it's just like if your mind is like that, you know, it's like when you have a thought, you attach to it. You know what I'm saying? Then that becomes the base foundation of your thinking. You have thoughts stemming just from that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Line of thinking. Exactly. It's a false reality. It's a creation. You got lost in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, it was so apparent to me one time, like, I don't know, y'all all were playing medicine, psychedelics, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. I did, oh yeah? That's what's up. Okay. But, this LSD at one point, you know what I'm saying, and just, I had a bad trip. I definitely had a bad trip, you know. The basis of it was I got lost in the creation. It started from having a negative thought, you know what I'm saying? Damn. Yeah, like started
in the middle of the game. Exactly. You throw some gold in the ocean for 10,000 years, bro. It's not gonna corrode. Right. It's not gonna decay. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And so, like, even just in the mineral kingdom, bro, like minerals, they gotta go through their transformation, their transmutation, and become higher laws in of themselves. You feel me? And the way they do that is by standing in the oneness of the law. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like all these different aspects of even one kingdom, like they represent different qualities of consciousness. Like you can't say that rosemary is like mushrooms. One, you know, has way a higher quality of consciousness and more individualized aspect of its nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the other is like, you do stuff for my body, you good for like maintenance, but like these mushrooms and the ayahuasca, like y'all got a different type of spirit or energy attached to it. And these plants, they got archangels attached to them. Just like the animals, they got archangels attached to them. You know what I'm saying? So people be like, do animals have souls and stuff like that? Like, of course they do. You feel me? But they don't have necessarily like an individualized state like men or women, you know what I'm saying, or mankind. But they are operated by these different entities as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too out there, but it's important to know that they work as a group consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to that as well. But yeah, you tap into these different kingdoms and you're tapping into those archangels, those angelic powers. You feel me? Because angels are just messengers and they come to teach you the cosmic word.
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
They come to teach.
Angles of light, yo.
Yeah.
What you just said with the angles, like angels and angles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's going into that divine math, that sacred geometry. You know what I'm saying? And that vortex, I'm telling you, that vortex-based mathematics is part of, that's the blueprint, because it's the torus. It forms a torus. It's a lazy 8. You know what I mean? The infinity sign, pretty much.
Right.
And then having the three and the 6. You know, being what oscillates, and then the 9 energy that goes straight through. You know what I mean? That forms a torus or a donut, pretty much, with the hole in the middle. And
That's crazy they don't say that, because 9 in Hebrew is tau, and it represents a basket. You know, because I came up with Hebrew Israelite, so I kind of studied the Hebrew language, and it represents a basket. And it represents nature, like the key like letter in the word nature. Hateva is a tau. It's a 9, so nature is like extended in its most exalted state, like that it can reach. It's maximized. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You know, but however, like when it comes to mankind, you know what I'm saying, we have the ability to surpass. I won't say surpass, we just get to that one. Just get back to that one. You know what I'm saying? Feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you get back to that one. So it's like you can either be, because like the word was Adam for Adam for mankind, and it had follow me, like I'm gonna do some numbers. Aleph is 1, and, you know, Dam is a Dalet, which is D, is a 4, and then you got Mem, which is a M, so Adam, that's a 40. You know, so it's just like that one, that heartbeat of life and death, you know what I'm saying? That the essence, the creator, however you want to call it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That number 4 represents a door, you know what I'm saying? The foundation. So it's like to let things in, to let things out, you know what I'm saying? Resisting and responding, you know what I'm saying? Choices in a sense, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and then that Mem is that waters, you know what I'm saying? Consciousness, things of that nature. So it's just like, but Mem can be either 40 or 600.
Bro.
You know, so it's just like, you either can be mundane, just, you know, or you can be cosmically fruitful, because 600 is a 6, you know, and that's union, connection, you know, so it's just like, it's a choice at the end of the day, like everything's choice. It stems off of the choice, because you're going to be a tree of knowledge of good and evil, you know.
Right.
And you always, that's how you level up, that's how you grow.
Right.
So everything's your choice, so if you can just like be that observer, be that one, you know, actually staying true, staying in your ground and staying in your being, you know, so you will always, you know, fall in line with the proper choice, I would say, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
You know.
That's real.
Yeah.
Man, what you was talking about as far as the numbers too, like I was just seeing it in terms of like just creation. Like these numbers are like literally, they're like pictograms of like
energy
how our
forces.
consciousness works. Like one is, that's breath, because that's like pre-creation. You know what I'm saying? It's pre-creation because when you breathe, you're sharing this air. You know what I'm saying? And like this air is attached to hydrogen. And hydrogen basically makes up the universe. You know what I'm saying? And this universe is formed of atoms of even older universe. You know what I'm saying? So you're still tapping into that pre-creation. And then 2 is like you just reflecting on that aspect.
Yeah.
You're just reflecting. It's a mirror. You're just observing. And then 3 is like, all right, I've observed. 3, that's why I say man, woman, and child, or the Holy Trinity. Now you create. And then you get to 4, which is the door. You know what I'm saying?
3 is movement.
This 3 is movement. 3 is movement. And then 4 is the doorway. Like that's why D and number 4 and all that. Like, and even isn't in Hebrew, isn't the C and the G the interchangeable kind of? Is it Gimel?
Yeah, Gimel. Yeah.
And its ideogram is a camel, right?
Exactly.
So the camel represents.
It's the hump. It's like it represents the hump. Like
yes, it's like it's like an aspect of sobriety. This animal holds in its water, or it's living water. You know what I'm saying? This animal holds in its essence, and for that very reason, it can make these long ass journeys in the desert, you know what I'm saying, not putting out too much because it has everything within.
Yeah.
And that makes us like the creator, because the creator is the only being that doesn't seek outside of itself for its own substance.
Yeah.
So that's why we gotta, like your brother be saying too, produce for yourself.
Produce for yourself.
Create
yeah.
for yourself. You
Shout
know
out,
what I'm
produce for
saying?
yourself.
Right. So it's crazy, man, how these numbers do magic, man.
Well, you know that's interesting too, because the camel in Hebrew represents kindness. You know, so it's kindness, love. You know what I'm saying? The basic principle. You know what I'm saying? That underlies, you know, everything. You know what I'm saying? Kindness. Treat everybody with love and respect. Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Like, that's the name of the game at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you take your energy with you. You know what I'm saying? Even when you pass here, so that's the only thing that's present with you. How you treat the next person, your energy. Exactly. Towards the next person. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, like, you can like, take a life. You take a life, that's gonna follow you too, because it's life in the blood. It's life everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like choices. Choices is so key. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Yeah,
That's real, man.
hey, shit.
It's like we leave an energetic footprint. What we do, you know what I mean?
Signature, yeah.
And signature across, you know what I mean, not just our footsteps, but in our interactions and our dealings and our conversations. You know what I mean? That's eye in the sky don't lie. That's gonna be our energetic take. You know what I'm saying? That we're gonna have to review and go back when they say God is gonna judge you for all you.
Right, like
Your energy was here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's on. You know, y'all niche it, but yeah, I think I wanted to touch back on something you said earlier, like how mankind, like.
Oh, yeah. That's how our session be.
Oh,
My bad.
It's all good.
Good. Now, you had said something to the effect of, you know what I mean, we as humans, a man, you know what I mean, we can go from that 9 to the 1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is really what it is, because even on the base of it's an electromagnetic pretty much pulse that's pulsing this God energy or divine spirit every time it makes the Taurus and it meets back at the 9 and then boom, shots back out. We are the
heartbeat.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Even in the vortex-based mathematics, that's going from, you know what I mean, we hit because everything that 9 goes through straight down the middle. You know what I mean? So everything that you add to 9, you know, it's going to equal back to itself. Everything that you multiply by 9 is going to equal 9. You know what I'm saying? So it's like going straight through, and as the lazy 8 is making, every time it comes back, and it's really 2 of them going at the same time, and when it goes back, it bing, boom. And we are that, you know what I'm saying? We are that heartbeat. That's what we have in us, and that's what we're supposed to attune to. So even in that, on a physical standpoint, that automatically like solves the energy crisis. That automatically, you know what I mean, solves any technological, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, things that's going on. Like that's what our melanin, we are live technology. We are organic technology. You know what I'm saying? We have the better than any computer out and will ever be out. You know what I'm saying? Because we can take all this stuff, electronics, cameras, you know what I'm saying, TVs, computers, all this stuff, cell phones, like we are supposed to be able to do.
I believe that too. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And the only reason, then that's why when Tomb raided, you know what I'm saying, all these times, this is the best that they could come up with.
Facts. Exactly.
With all the shit that they stole and improperly, because they had the tools, they had the arms, they had the jazz and stuff, but they couldn't work with because they ain't had it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say unlocking our melanin is so important, because we can fly. Like we can really like do it.
Exactly.
The pyramid, you know what I mean? The pyramids is like we had to be on that level. Whoever built it and constructed that, they had to be on an in tune with, like, you know what I'm saying? In
You heard
tune
about
with-
Lebanon?
Nah.
Man, it's these tons, like stones perfectly lined up with precision. Precision, like tons now. Like,
I believe it.
You ever heard of sonic drilling?
No.
So you can vibrate a drill at such a high frequency that it can cut into other rock, cut into other, you know what I mean, thing. That's why they use like diamond. That's why diamond was really so important. You know what I mean? Because it's one of the hardest, you know what I mean, substances in the world. Maybe one of the hardest, if not, don't quote me on that, but it's pretty hard. You know what I mean? That's why iridium, oh man, Iridium is vibranium.
Vibranium.
And there's a whole mountain of it.
Adamantine. What is it? Adamantine. What was it in don't lose this. Wolverine. What do they put in his? They always got some substance.
It's that. Iridium is really what it's they use it on industrial, commercial size drill bits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not to get too. But you can use iridium was what was used to iridium and diamond was what was used to cut and precisely use the sacred geometry. Because the cuts they was getting, bro, it's so precise. Bro, the flaw was like 0.2 something percent error, you know what I'm saying? It's very small, window of, very accurate, highly precise, highly accurate the way they was cutting these songs. But they were using sonic drilling. They was using sonic drilling by just attuning it to a certain frequency. You know what I'm saying? And it has all this wear and tear on the actual drill itself, and never wear and tear on the drill because the drill is not getting resistance because it's vibrating at a certain frequency that's high enough to just cut through it. So your drills lasted longer, your tools lasted longer. That's why they got the the name of the rock that's hollow enough that if you hit it with a bell, it'll sound. It's ancient. But they use that's what they would use. You would see in a lot of the tombs or the graves usually around the pyramids they had
granite.
It's definitely a darker
basalt.
No.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? But they had these cones. You know what I mean? And they'll tune it by hitting it, striking it. You know what I mean? They'll tune it to a certain frequency, and then that's when you get levitation.
Acoustic levitation. I heard that was a theory. I saw in little videos. That was a theory how to build pyramids. Acoustic levitation. Using sound frequency.
Oh yeah.
Ed Lee. What's his name? Ed Leedskin. It's like on the Guinness World Records, Coral Castle.
That name sounds very familiar.
Damn.
So Ed Leedskin. Sounds a little like light skin.
He got in Miami, like over there, actually in like Homestead. Well, he has a castle that he made out of like coral, like rocks that are like basically heavy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So he wrote a couple books, but all of his books are about magnetism and how to vibrate matter that's heavier, that's basically heavy as hell. Like you got to be in possession of some real Atlantean technology. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But yeah, man, it just makes me think of the power of sound. Vibration, and that's what helps repair DNA. We talking about getting right, like even the food. Just to kind of bring it back to that has music notes from the sun. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even abstract because the birds chirp, animals buzz around it. So the water is storing the memory. So even when you eat fruit, you get light, oxygen, color. All the modalities. You know what I'm saying? You get everything you need to actually transform your DNA into the next highest level. And don't they use 528 hertz? Or they use specifically 528 hertz for repairing DNA in the laboratory. And that's why you see all this green, all this heart chakra.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Here for you. Like abundance.
And that's harmonics. That's harmonics. You know what I mean? Love and peace is harmony. You know what I'm saying? That's the trio. And that's what keeps spinning, oscillating, you know what I'm saying? That builds the tree of life. If you take a triangle and you keep rotating them around, I think for the circle of fifths, you know what I'm saying? If you rotate, that's where the music come in, the divine music. Because if you keep rotating it in the circle of fifths around, it's going to form that spiral. You know what I mean? That spiral energy, and that's the basis of all movement. You know what I mean? 432 and 528. You know what I mean? All on that 432, you know what I mean, frequency, they are intervals, they are fifths, they are notes. So that's where, you know what I'm saying, like, there's, Afro-modalism, bro, you know what I'm saying, it's so,
I check that out, man.
It's so in tune because all your modalities are designed to take in this music, this universal music from the sun, from the universe, you know what I mean, everybody's playing the instrument in the orchestra, and you don't want to just hear the brass section, You know what I mean? You don't want to just hear the little triangle section in the, I hear ding. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to hear the whole, you know what I mean, the symphony in that bitch. And the foods that you eat, you know what I mean, the herbs, the crystals, you know what I mean, it's all going into activating more strands in your DNA so you can take in more instruments. You know what I mean? So you can take in more, that's the third chair. You know what I mean? That's the violin, third chair, that's the cello, that's the viola over there. You know what I'm saying? Damn, they got 3 chairs for that too. They doing a nice little harmony, you know what I mean, over there. Okay, I like that. Oh, okay, I see the timpani. Okay, that's the challenges.
Yeah, they went hot on me.
Oh, yeah.
Without, that's probably
that's an hour right there.
That's an hour, that's a bit.
Yeah,
that's
that's
crazy
good.
Yeah. Damn, hell yeah.
Yeah, all the modalities are tuned to help give you an experience because you hear, you're defined by your experiences as well. You know what I mean? What you actually be a part. You know what I mean? You can only take so much in at a time as a human. You know what I mean? Through your, you know what I mean? So, and what do you describe as, you know, your experiences? Usually, I saw this, I heard this, that food was good.
Exactly.
I ain't like the way that smelled. You know what I'm saying? I felt great. You know what I mean? And that would be determinant of however many senses that you can attach positively to an experience. That's whether or not it was a good or bad experience for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why everybody is trying to appeal to so many different senses at one time. When somebody drops an album, they're not just dropping an album no more.
Exactly.
They dropping a clothing line. They dropping a fragrance. They dropping a makeup line. You know what I'm saying? They dropping whatever they got. Some a vibe, some alcohol. You know what I'm saying? They got something to go with it.
That's leverage to get your consumer, like that's
right,
leverage.
Because they tapping in on so many. They seeing positive. They getting positive, whatever it is, what they want on so many different levels. They don't have to go anywhere else. It's a immersive. You know what I'm saying? They creating a whole universe like Marvel out here. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I got it. Don't go nowhere else. I got you.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This is I'm dope. You know what I'm saying? You know I got it. Yeah, I got it. What it's something for you. We talk about all the time. Like they should never. It's so many different. They can't say no to everything. We gonna get you somewhere, somehow, some way. You may not like the way I do one thing, but you go, oh dang, you do that too. Okay, I fuck with that. That's dope. Oh what? Oh, now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you like being in shape? No. Okay. Do you like eating right? Oh no. Do you like, you know what I'm saying? Like just
music?
Do you like music?
Right.
Do you like, what do you like? You got something in the circle, or you know what I mean, in our, you know what I mean, in our synergy in the field. So it's like you can't go away. You can't. Come on, man. Take a seat.
Right. Exactly.
Take a seat. Tell me what do you need? You know. But that's us. That's our manifestations as our. We are the microcosm to the macrocosm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the divine, it knows no limits. It knows no bounds. It knows no. You know what I mean? I'm not subject to something I've created. You know what I mean? So as we embody more and more the creator in its aspect of that, you know what I'm saying, that we too, on our level, you know what I mean, can tap into those vibrations and like I said, the lifestyle choices, the diet, you know what I'm saying, the herbs that we put in our bodies, the what we just mindful with the thoughts, just breathing right, you know what I'm saying, the water, it all just, it's all threads.
It's hard to ties in, man.
Right, you know, that's why this holistic is it's not just it's literally holistic, like the whole of everything. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
so branching out back to when y'all mentioned frequency and like just music and stuff like that, I was just watching a video and just how the music industry, you know, the sound waves and the frequencies that they use, like they're playing at 440 hertz.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
right.
432, like
imposter.
you know what I'm saying? It's actually, you know, separating the it's not allowing your brain to operate in unison.
Right.
It's separating your brain hemispheres so that it stays in your head, you know, constantly playing, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. And I'm just like, that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? And the words and stuff that they're using in the music, you know, it's a whole, that's casting spells, like it's a whole experiment, you know.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just like, if you're not grounded, you definitely gotta, if you listen to this music, definitely be aware. You definitely have to be aware, because like, they definitely, you know, it's getting you on a psychological level.
That's real, man.
Yeah.
That's
You know
real.
what I'm saying?
Them like even the words, you know what I'm saying? Because all these are like rivers. Like if people could just see what it looks like when you say certain words, like you would literally see like filaments of light or streams of light coming out of people's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And energy stratifies. So those people who are living from the heart, like it's literally a river in the sky, like of energy at all times. And like the ones who speak and are balanced in ma'at, you know what I'm saying, or keep their peace, those stratify the highest. You feel me? But when you say the same words that other people are saying, it's like a train. You tap yourself into that vehicle and you're gonna arrive at the destination where all of those people be at, or intelligences that love those type of words where they be at. You know what I'm saying? So the words, that's real, man. That's real. That's why them affirmations is so powerful, bro. Like just saying the same chant or affirmation every day. You're gonna come out transformed because that's all that's in your mind. That's the master thought that you planted. You know what I'm saying? So that's real, bro. That's real.
I think we was talking before about how certain words, they vibrate. There's a cavity, you know what they call it, the like cranial, it's a cavity in the middle right behind, you know, where our nose, right behind our nose bone, that goes right to the pineal gland. And as we speak,
Go ahead.
so as we speak, you know what I mean, especially we speak divine words and we speak, you know, we higher on this, tap into the higher streams, we vibrate our pineal gland, you know what I'm saying, and it, you know, we activate it. You know, so that's why you say even repeating certain mantras and certain mudras and, you know what I mean, just different affirmations, we activate in our melanin again, because pineal gland is one of the things that has the highest concentration of melanin, you know, in your body, because that is what taps into that's the first gland that's aware when a child forms in the womb. It's the pineal gland, you know what I'm saying, because that's tapping into the direct river or ocean, you know what I'm saying, that is divine energy that's all around us, you know what I'm saying. So that's like the highest concentration. So once we start vibrating that, we start activating, you know what I'm saying, our higher, you know, states of being. And so just by talking and speaking at these tones, and like you said, being exposed to 432, you know what I mean, you know, hertz, as we can, 520, and it directly aligns with the chakras as well. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all the modal. I don't mean to keep, but it is. You know, I have to. You know what I mean? Because I'm not bound to it, but that's a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but just going through and using these different tools. You know what I'm saying? And I even keep going back to the veganism, just the tools. You know, as one of the tools, one of the main vehicles to get you. You know what I mean? There, along with everything else. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the taste.
Sure. That makes me think about when y'all talking about words, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Language in itself, even learning Hebrew, it's like back to like even observing, like one back when there was no language, even observing the sounds of nature.
Right.
It's just like, and the dude I work with, he even said something that was so profound about babies. When babies are born, the language that they speak is all the world languages at once. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the language that we speak, like you use different parts of your tongue and it vibrates like with your pituitary gland, like your pineal gland, things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So the formation of your tongue muscles definitely plays a part in like your speech. Like, I was thinking about English, you speak from the front of your mouth, like you don't really use the back of your tongue to really.
There's no guttural.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key. Guttural. Yeah, there's no guttural at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
wow,
learning a different language does play a key part in. I would feel plays a part. Or even having access to another language plays a part in like just the growth.
Oh yeah,
Definitely the growth.
What's his name? Brother Polite. He was talking about I think he did a lecture like on sound and stuff like that, but he was saying like the guttural and tonal languages like that indigenous culture speak, it turns on a gene. I think he said it was the ASPM gene or something like that, but he was saying how like just speaking those type of languages, it activates different parts of your brain, like you were saying. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And then, you know, like taking this back, like indigenously speaking, like far back, like even as far as South Africans or Zulu Africans, like, and that's so beautiful that they speak in click. Like what is that? Mosa language. Like in their spiritual traditions, they say that the dolphins gave us visions in our dreams, and we built the world according to some of those visions. And I'm like, damn, dolphins click.
Right.
Y'all click. Like, we all click.
Clicked up.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's profound, especially like what you were saying about listening and observing nature, and that's your language. Like, it's a guy named Tony Wright. He wrote a book called the right brain, and it's returned back to Eden. And in that book, he talks about like how fruit specifically creates like steroid feedback loops that feed your endocrine gland system that produce superhumans. So he's talking about how like a wave or the explosion or evolution of man from other devolved states, because it's a different type of humanoid or humanoid bones, like just even in archaeology.
Yeah.
Fruit was a large part of that. But what he said was that in the distant past, the first language was people used to sing to each other. So I like what he said, because I'm like, we already know that, all right, the first language had to be obviously like telepathy, but then you step that down just a little bit, you got people singing.
Yeah.
So that's why like even in Arabic, Arabic or like Metanetra or Hebrew, like the language is beautiful, it's poetic. It's so poetic. Like you're not about to just say, hey, what's going on, Matt? How are you? You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's like, peace be upon you, Matt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it resonates with your soul.
Wow.
Like,
That's so true. That's so true. And when, like with Hebrew, you actually had to sing the Torah. Like you had to sing it. Like to really like. That's how it was read. Like in ancient times, singing it. It was singing. Like that's so profound that you said that.
man, that makes it magical, bro.
Yeah, like
you know, you gotta sing songs in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
But that's a form of magic. But you gotta sing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like so you can't even like even. You know, all of our folks that's in like African spiritual traditions and stuff like that, and then people who get into like Wicca or hoodoo and stuff like that, like everybody loves to do rituals and stuff like that, but really you gotta sing like your ritual, like whatever you want to say, like into the world, into the womb, the cosmic womb, you gotta sing it, because it's not gonna recognize. Basically, it's a lock and key mechanism, and you have to vibrate at a certain level just to even access certain things. You feel me? So. It's just beautiful that language is, it's man, it's crazy.
Right. They say that in forms of intelligence, you would rank it. Well, most people in the Western world will rank it humans, animals, and nature. You know what I mean? But really, in terms of being in tune and divine intelligence, it's really the other way around. You know what I mean? It's simply due to the fact that nature, as far as like plants and trees, they don't have to utter. They don't have to physically, they breathe, you know what I'm saying, but they don't have to talk out or make a noise. They don't have to make a sound, you know what I'm saying? And you look at trees and plants, once you tap into one tree, you pretty much tap into every tree. You know what I mean, in the general vicinity, you know what I'm saying, because they have their network of communication. They don't have to waste time on speaking. It's just instantaneous, you know what I mean, like a distributed network, you know what I'm saying, of computers, quote unquote. You know what I mean, the web, you know what I mean, that's the first worldwide web.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean, was
Mycelium.
the trees. Right. You feel me? Yeah, mycelium, and there's a whole science of how, trees and bushes and mycelium, and
Mycelium, ain't that the shroom?
Yeah.
I literally just thought about my mushroom trip as he was explaining that. It's crazy. I'm just like, when I was on shroom, my first trip, it was like I heard the tree was speaking.
Exactly.
Like, it was crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, it was just like I put myself into the tree. It was just like it was.
Right.
Right.
What I heard was a drum that had a rhythm, and it was just like a heartbeat but a rhythm. It was incredible, man. Like, and it was deep. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, and it was a big tree. Like, it was old. Like,
Right.
Man, when I was on a shroom trip too, man, like one of the most powerful ones, I had to like stop everything and just like put my forehead against the root and just, it was the tree, bro.
Wow.
So like, I don't know, man, the trees it's crazy. And you know what, another thing too, like going out in nature and like, cause we're creators.
Right.
So every time you interface with something, it's a new child that gets created, right?
Yeah.
So even with trees, like humans that, the first temples used to be trees and mountains and caves and stuff like that, but trees. So that's why you got in like Celtic lore, you know what I'm saying, their spiritual traditions, like the ancient druids and stuff like that, they talk about elves or fairies and stuff like that. And those are like literally, they see those things and deal with those, because when you blend your consciousness with the tree or plant kingdom, you create a hybrid offspring. You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way, but in the most divine way. Like you create different creations. based upon how you merge your consciousness. So
Mm.
I think that's crazy because you can go to cultures that they interface with water more, and so you got stuff like mermaids and all of that.
Right.
So and then people think that they're lunching. Nah, they ain't tripping. They actually
tapping in.
be talking to this shit. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's I don't know, it's a whole world, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they say nature is, you know what I mean, the most supreme intelligence, you know what I'm saying? At least on, you know what I mean, that's where the Neter come from, you know what I mean, with the 9, and that's where that number 9 comes in, just like you were saying earlier, you know what I mean? And then animals, like you said, they even have their archangels, just like the plants have their archangels, you know what I mean? So the animals, they only utter, you know what I'm saying, when they absolutely feel like they need to. You know what I mean? Because one thing about animals, depending on what type of animal you are, or just period, you want to control when you're noticed. You know what I'm saying? You want to control when you when you speak. They really super mind. It's either group thought, you know what I'm saying? But they only speak when it's almost extreme emotion.
Yeah.
A dog don't just bark for fun.
It's made
You
in
know what I
time.
mean? Right. Either I'm mad, who's at the door? You know what I'm saying? I'm hurt, you know what I'm saying? Help me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or just, those type of things, only extreme emotions. You know, so but they still have that group consciousness though. You know what I mean? I had when I was on shrooms, I was out there and it was like some mosquitoes and stuff outside. This is at the Vandal, you know what I'm saying, in Tallahassee. There's like mosquitoes outside. And we had a big tree in our yard too, so I was just sitting at the tree and the mosquitoes was just coming. I was like, yo, it was good. And then I realized, I was like, yo, is it a million mosquitoes out here? Or is it one mosquito in a million different bodies? Just group thought, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Supreme group thought, and it made,
Wow.
you know what I mean, it just conscious. I was like, yo.
It's like some brutal shit.
Yo, that's bro. That's what piggybacking off what you just said. Like I told you that Quincy had showed me the it was this old school video that my man showed me with the Hopi elders, and they were doing a serpent ceremony. My man hates snakes, dog. That shit's so funny. But
I respect it like that.
But so anyways, bro, picture like 25, 30 people, men and women, all of them got snakes. And you got the head priest like jumping around with a snake. And so this ties into what you're saying, is it a million mosquitoes or is it one mosquito in that body? Right. So basically, bro, like after an hour of this elaborate ceremony, they were able to actually call down rain. Like, and they can do it again. So it's mathematic and scientific.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this shit with precision. And they did it by the snakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to create a miracle, like, you're not just doing it by yourself.
Right.
Nothing just lives by itself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had help. Some Goku or somebody lent you some power. Like, you know what I'm saying? All that shit is real. Like, nature or the archangels. Because once again, the archangels sit over animals.
Yeah.
And it's some very special animals. Like, we're not about to act like a dolphin, cats,
Right.
bees,
Yeah.
snakes, and birds are like regular.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Right. No.
Right.
That's a fact.
So like,
That's a fact.
I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like, all of them are in tune with each other. You feel me? So they got the whole snake kingdom vibrating, and the snakes is sensitive to electricity. That's why they literally are sitting through currents in the air. So I'm thinking like, all right, y'all manipulate these snakes and y'all did something where y'all got an electric charge and was able to shoot that joint up into the ionosphere and then have it rain, bro.
Tell them about the that shooting up 12 miles in the atmosphere.
The Agni Ultra Pyramid.
Yeah.
Bruh.
The who?
So it's a couple of different like spiritual practices in the Vedic system. So over there in India and stuff, like one of those spiritual practices is something called Agni Hotra. And so Agni is fire. So that's the god of fire. But it's not like, you know how it is. It's not like saying that there's a god named Agni per se.
Right.
But Agni rules over the fires of the mind and matter and all of that. So the one of the rituals is called Agni Hotra. And you get basically a copper pyramid. It's an inverted copper pyramid. I'll send you a picture of that joint like when you get home.
Yeah.
But it's a copper pyramid, but it's inverted. And so the ritual is that you burn cow dung, ghee, and rice at sunrise and sunset, because those are when the most spiritual pranas come out of the sun for man. So you say certain mantras, like you be like Agni Suryaya Namo Nama, and you just keep on hitting that joint. And basically, what happens is that the fire, the cow dung, the ghee, the rice, in tandem with the geometry of the copper inverted pyramid, in tandem with your words, create sonic formulas that build a force field around about a mile circumference and an electric arc about 12 kilometers in the sky. So, based upon the Vedic priests that were talking about it, some Indian scholars decided to do some research and to see how practical and effective this was. So they actually had a group of people performing the Agnihotra mantras at Chernobyl, which is where the nuclear fallout happened. And they found out that when somebody performs Agnihotra, nuclear radiation does not envelop in that zone. It's literally a force field around that, bro. And so when you do Agnihotra, you call in beings like angels, or what they would call devas. You call in the shining ones. And you set your intention for the day, and it's literally supposed to get your mind right. And the science is so beautiful because all you're doing is manipulating the atmosphere, and then you manipulate your mind by manipulating the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's but yeah, the Agnihotra, man, it's powerful.
Agnihotra?
Agnihotra.
Ultra.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send you some stuff on that,
that's
bro.
wild, man. It just made me think about, just the priests and the scriptures. Moses, man, said like having to just turning a rod into a serpent, pretty much, split water. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He had to be on. He was on something.
Oh yeah.
He was definitely on some other next level type stuff. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing what the masses were doing.
He was on some
You know what I'm saying?
on some Daniel.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. That's crazy.
Even it's crazy that you mentioned that. Even that's related to him tapping into those electromagnetic principles.
Yeah.
Turning the rod into a serpent that's just hitting certain frequencies.
Yeah.
He's able to transmute, vibration on these different levels. For him to be able to, because even in like the hieroglyphs, they have a snake pointed right, a snake pointed left. It's almost like crescendo and descendo in music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to amplify the frequency at a certain rate, going at a certain ratio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they have a hieroglyph of a snake just going regular where it's equal. You know what I mean? That's the steady current. You know what I'm saying? So even in it's double sided. You know what I'm saying? Because most people think he's talking about an actual snake. He was tapping into certain vibrations and frequencies, and he was able to tune that rod, which was meant to ground and hold the ankh. You feel me? The rod that was placed, because you ground yourself on the jet, you charge it up with the jet, you know what I'm saying? And that's the power house, the power source. That's the pillar with 3 rings on top of it, you know what I'm saying?
You're a Jedi.
Come on now. I'm just saying, the lightsaber had 3 rings at the bottom. If you looked at the hilt, it was a jet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And you put the rod, you know what I'm saying, in there. It's based off of, and you have a crystal, you know what I'm saying? Certain crystal attune that's helping attune, because crystals are some of the purest forms, you know what I'm saying, of energy. You know what I'm saying? Highest forms of energy on the physical plane. It's direct light, like pretty much light in a snapshot, like parted, like pure, just
Light and snapshot.
yeah, you know what I mean? A screenshot of light, like just charged up and just layer on top of that. You put the rod, you know what I'm saying? So he had the rod, he was able to charge it because he had it grounded on the jet, rod, the scepter, and then the ankh, you know what I'm saying, which was the tuning. You know what I mean? Of course, that's the detail to get you to a certain frequencies. Okay, that's where the element is, or that's where I need to hit. Like it was like I want to say a calculator, but it was just like that's totally you know what I mean, devaluing it, what it really was. But something as close to a calculator, a compass, all your mathematical instruments into one on an energetic, vibrational level. You know what I'm saying? So you could boom. Oh, okay, I need to be here.
okay, everything I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, everything I touch from now on, or just imagine putting your oh my bad.